Welcome back to Contemporary Black Voices. Before I do that, we always want to acknowledge our producer and our dictator, Kyle Booker. But Kyle Booker is always behind the scene, and one of these days we're going to get him on his show because this guy's a genius on AI and all of that other stuff. And that's a big thing happening right now, and we're going to get him here somehow in the future. We're going to get him here. So let's get back to our topic. Okay, Chris, you're getting ready to make a point.
Well, Sharon was talking about the affirmative action, and she was laying the groundwork for how that particular started, how affirmative action started. The point I wanted to make is that this society and America were sending our black kids to black HBCUs at the time. Okay, because they didn't want us to go to the white schools. And even to take that one step further, the reason why they had to make a provision for the black schools is because the white masters were having all these kids by May, and she's saying, well, I want those kids to go to school, but they didn't want them to go to the white schools, so they set up the HBCUs. But there were some courses that black folks could not get at the HBCUs, which forced them to have to apply to the main colleges. That's where affirmative action came in, is because we didn't have a chance to go to the white schools, and now you're not offering it at the black schools. And in order for us to progress and to get to where we needed to go to the white school. So that's what I wanted to mention.
Sharon?
No, I agree that that was the purpose of affirmative action, was to equalize the playing field, level the playing field, if you will. Now, based on the stats that I've seen, that playing field has never been level, even with affirmative action. So, did I get upset with this decision? Yes, but I didn't lose any sleep either, because it's kind of like same song, different day. But I think that now what we're going to have to see, even since George Floyd, that the HBCUs have seen an uptick in enrollment, which I'm very happy. But now they're going to have to start thinking about capacity. Do they have the capacity to handle the enrollment that they need to start considering now based on this decision? I know that I talked to some peers who teach at HBCUs. I said, well, do you have an online program? And so they said, no, we want to keep the traditional, keep them on campus because of the relationship building. But I do say, because I've talked face-to-face and online, that HBCUs are going to have to come out of their comfort zone to where they start offering more online programs from undergrad, grad, to even doctorate levels, so that they can handle the increase in enrollment.
Let me switch it just a little, okay? White folks suffer from selective amnesia.
Yes.
Mm-hmm. Really, they have a bad case of that. They're talking about a colorblind society. Give me a break.
Yeah. Right.
Give me a break. That's what the Chief Justice, John Robertson.
Right.
We're working towards a colorblind society. Why the hell didn't they do that 100 years ago?
Right.
Or plus, 100-year plus.
100-year plus. Now all of a sudden, they're concerned about and colorblind society. And the other thing, if you lived in the South 50 years ago, you could tell that man, I'm not paying my taxes because my son can't go to your school.
Right.
You had to pay those taxes. So think about that for a minute. They paid taxes, and the kids couldn't go to the schools.
Right.
Mm-hmm.
That's a debt that's unpaid.
Right.
That's a doggone debt that's unpaid. And so you want a justification? I mean, you want to eat? And let me go to the Asians. That wasn't happening to him because they weren't even here yet.
Right.
Right.
They weren't even here yet. And so they're talking about, and then the few seats we get in these schools is ridiculous.
You can only count by hand how many are in the classroom.
Yeah, yeah.
And I think Fred makes a good point for a Supreme Court case, but you couldn't bring it to this Supreme Court.
Something else you need to consider is this. that the Supreme Court cherry-picked this decision in that the military institutions and
Right.
also the military subsets within these elite groups are not associated with the decision. And the overall reason behind that is that they want the military forces or people who are coming in, be used to working with a diverse population, a diverse work group. So why wasn't that same logic applied to their decision with affirmative action? Asian students need to know how to work with Black folks. Black folks need to learn how to work with Asian students and everybody else. So this was a very, very arbitrary decision.
I agree.
And, the only institution integrated in this country without protest was the military.
And we know why that is.
And we know why that is.
So,
They looked at the statistics of World War I, World War II. They said, hey, not enough Black folks have died.
We need some cannon fodder.
right.
Let's get this.
Yeah, but just to touch on Dr. Sherritt's point. So, one, the Asian kids, they did not sue the service academies, which are elite institutions, and so they aren't trying to go and serve this country. They aren't trying to go and die in war. So they only went after Harvard, and they and of course a state institution or a state university, but primarily their primary focus was the Ivies, and so they didn't sue the service institution. The other thing is the Supreme Court's carve out for the service institutions. Those Ivy schools have ROTC programs that need diversity, and so the
They're
same
excluded also.
the ROTC programs are excluded. So does that mean that the Ivies can admit Black folks under the guise that they're going to be attending their ROTC programs? Is that one way that they're going to get around that?
Good question.
Could they?
Yeah.
Could they?
Yes.
All these Black folks, we got to admit them, and they're all going to be on our ROTC programs.
So you can go fight wars. To protect
Yeah. So I mean, yeah.
Who are going to the school.
Right, to protect the Asians.
Going to school. So our boys can go over and fight.
Right. And so the other thing, and just to touch on that idea of a colorblind society, right? So it was only a few weeks ago, white folks were losing their mind over a black mermaid. And so we're striving to a colorblind society, but these folks, where is it at? You know what I mean? These folks are still going crazy about a fictional character. And so the Supreme Court lives in this delusional world.
But the other thing you got to consider is this. Having been a elementary teacher all the way up to college, but mostly in elementary, we kept hearing about the model minority. So the Asian community, especially the Chinese and the Japanese, they have benefited from that stereotype. Now, we heard another YouTube video with an Asian professor who was saying that if this decision goes the way it has gone, is that there are going to be residual effects that even the Asian community did not even consider. One of them being that they will be stereotyped as being the persons who are against civil rights.
Yeah, we already saying that now today, I think, on this set.
Yeah.
But the other thing I do want to comment on what Caleb had just said is, well, I have a question, and my question is, can those majority institutions be able to figure out a way that they can still admit Black folks, and is it incumbent upon them to get around this?
So Gavin Newsom, who is the governor of California, I think it was around 2003, between 2003 and 2016, around that time frame, California and Michigan outlawed affirmative action admission to colleges based on race. And they said that Newsom specifically said, okay, United States, you want to know what's going to happen because of this ruling? Look at California. They said before that ruling in California and even in Michigan, especially the law schools, that it was double digits for Black and Hispanics. After that ruling, it went down to single digits, and they have never been able to recover. Now they're trying to do some things to improve their enrollment, and it's becoming almost a model to other schools to consider. So there's always another way to get to Walmart.
You're the statistic person. So did the actual overall enrollment decline as well as a result of the black folks, or was it just the black folks?
Black and Hispanic,
Hispanic.
enrollment dropping to the single digits.
It was by,
So they didn't lose any money.
it was by 2/3.
Okay.
By 2/3.
It was 2/3 a decline. The decline was 2/3. It was
So then
66%
America's going to
decline.
have to figure out how they're going to make up that money with universities if you're going to lose that income.
No, they aren't losing any income. It's
Okay.
just they're instead of black folks taking those
Okay.
positions,
Somebody
white
else.
folks
That's what
are
I was
taking,
asking.
so white
Okay.
folks taking those. So again, the thing is this. So this idea of pitting one minority group against another minority group, and so that's already done. It's been done. You know what I mean? And so, and again, I hope that black folks that are watching this understand this. And so, you know how they act when you walk into the stores. You know how they act when you walk into the hair stores. You know how they,
They
treat
follow you.
You know how they treat. Yeah, you know how they treat you at the nail salon. So this idea that it's not something new. Again, you have these minority groups that have come in and don't. They've already had the negative stereotype of black folks when they got here.
That's right.
And so when they come to this country, they bring those prejudices with them,
Right.
and
Right.
they don't understand or even want to learn about or even understand that there are black contributions to this country, or how black folks have pushed this country along to become the idea that they have in their head of what this country is. And so that was done through black struggle. And so when they come here and they don't learn that, one of the things that they do is they want to kind of take this white ideology or white outlook towards black folks, and they want to continue to persecute black folks. And so,
Go ahead.
no, please,
I was just going to make a add to what you said.
no, go ahead.
Toni Morrison said, if you want to become a good American, learn how to use the word in. And you know what word?
Right.
But you can call black folks that word. How? Now you're an American.
Now you're an American.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And maybe not to that extreme, but you're pointing out that's exactly what these other folks, Asian Americans, are doing. And when you talk about the cause, even Mexican Americans were not that involved in the civil rights movement
Right.
at all. But when the rewards started coming, they were right there.
Right.
And that's all these minorities. So
Right.
in a way, they should be bowing down to black people saying, thank you for building this economically strong country.
Right.
Because
That, yeah.
our ancestors
Right.
did that.
And thank you for these rights that we now have
Because
that you
you're
struggled
right.
for,
Yeah.
and we didn't have to struggle for.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? We just showed up and got all the benefits. You guys, you folks did all the work and all the dying.
Yeah,
You know what I
absolutely.
mean? And so this like I say, this thing with this Asian lawsuit, and I mean that young man who spoke, it was a complete display of ignorance as far as the black struggle and what we've gone through in this country. Like I say, they wouldn't be at these institutions without us, and so we would have just rather them said thank you.
I think that's a good way to end this segment. Okay. And coming up next is going to be a good segment. What's
Uncle Ruckus.
Uncle Ruckus? Lance Thomas is Black America's Uncle Ruckus. We'll be right back.